Carter Hart's lawyer called EM, quote, deliberately slippery and how she gave her testimony. This is part 1 of my day 2 recap of the closing arguments in the 2018 Team Canada SA trial. Make sure you follow so you don't miss anything as the trial wraps up. She started off the day by saying that she wanted to answer a question that the judge asked Michael McLeod's lawyer yesterday about whether or not it is normal for a person to come to court with a goal or an agenda in mind. She said, quote, generally not this much of an agenda. There's a difference between hoping for an outcome but nonetheless trying to be careful, objective, and non-advocative, so to speak, versus actively trying to advance agenda, and it is the latter that we are dealing with here, and that is a credibility problem. She then said, quote, the goal is to obscure because the witness knows that the truth will not serve her agenda, which is to see her not in consent. She then called EM, quote, deliberately slippery in how she gave her testimony and gave some examples about her testimony. She then went on to say that EM's testimony evolved from feelings to facts, saying, quote, she feels an event is non-consensual but then testifies to an internal state of mind that is more consistent with regret than consent. She feels she is on autopilot, then testifies to facts that show conscious choice and agency. She then went on to say that EM has, quote, revisionist tendencies and changes her story over the last 7 years to, quote, pivot when she's confronted with new hurdles and bad facts, and it takes one to know one. That is a job we commonly do as lawyers, but it is not something a witness should be doing. That was it for Hart's lawyer, and then Alex Trementon's lawyer started his closing argument. He said that EM was not a reliable witness. He then listed what EM testified to, but then said that there's videos that prove otherwise. Those items were that the players got her drunk, that she was so drunk that she was out of it, she was separated from her friends by the players, she had no opportunity to escape from McLeod at the bar, and that no one checked in on her during the night. Then went on to say, quote, none of the witnesses corroborate the oppressive atmosphere that EM says existed in the room. Consent to sex with a stranger is still consent. Consent while drunk is still consent. Consent to sex by one woman with more than one man is still consent. He then said that there were 4, quote, states of mind described by EM, and each one was that she was too drunk to consent, her mind and body separated and she was on autopilot, through fear and terror she did things she didn't want to, and that she is a people pleaser who was socially pressured to have sexual activity she didn't want. He then contended that a 5th mental state, quote, EM was enthusiastically consenting to what was happening in room 209 is the true one. Then went on to say that when EM's mom found her in the shower crying, EM realized that she needed to tell a story about people doing, quote, bad things to her rather than, quote, take responsibility for the bad choices she made. He then argued that EM wanted to save her relationship with her boyfriend and knew the men were hockey players, and if the story came out, there would be public shaming. He said, quote, she created a lie, and that lie was that she didn't make the choice willingly to leave the bar and go to the hotel with Mr. McLeod. If the choice wasn't hers, if it was someone else's fault, if she was sexually assaulted, she would be absolved of her conduct. However, EM didn't know that there were videos that didn't match her story. He then went on to say that when the police detective told her that he couldn't lay charges because the hotel video shows her not too drunk to consent, quote, her quest for justice is just starting. She wants money. She wants a lot of money. She wants $3.5 million. She doubles down. He then argued that EM shifted her narrative in the Hockey Canada statement to include that she was drunk and that the players knew it.